Hey Tommy, you know what year the Lexus GX first hit the market?
I do, Dad. It was a great year for me. I was 5 years old, 2002.
Well, today we've got a really fun video because we have the second generation, the Lexus GX460, and of course, the brand new Lexus GX550. And we're going to do an old versus new comparison. So in this video, we're going to go under the hood. We're going to go inside, show you the difference. I'm going to crawl in the way back, the third row, and then of course at the end of this video, Tommy, they just changed the towing number on this new GX550 and it's mind-blowing. So let's get to it. What do you want to start with?
Well, let's start with the look, Dad, because this second gen, it's going on, what, 14, 15 years old? It's almost old enough to drive. And one of my favorite Toyota Lexus four-wheel drives ever made. In my opinion, the design has never been the strong suit. It's always been a little fussy, a lot of angles, different textures, different finishes. You got that Predator kind of grill mouth. The spindle grill is just enormous. It's always been a little bit of an odd duckling from a design standpoint.
Yeah, we are at Lexus full spindle when it comes to the last generation of the GX. And now, with the new generation, we have a much more square-jawed, much more purposeful design. Dare I say, much more off-road worthy, especially if you look at like this, you know, jutting out chin, which is always not grand for off-roading. And now you've got this much more, well, much more off-road ready version.
So it has grown quite a bit in total length. 197 inches versus 192, but it's a much more cohesive design now. So if it's got a square angle, it's not intersecting some round curve like the old one. It's got a very upright windshield. I do like this little black strip, which you find front and back, to give the roof kind of that floating design element, almost like what you'd find on the Land Cruiser, which is, by the way, the sister car to this GX, the new 250 series Land Cruiser. And yeah, it's just a much more attractive vehicle, especially if you get that one. This is the brand new trim that's called the Overtrail. It's the off-road oriented version of the GX.
And we're going to do a full video on that, of course. So come back to all TFL if you want to see just how off-road worthy the most off-road worthy GX is. But you know, for those people in the know, right, the old GX was always kind of the go-to if you didn't have enough money for the Toyota Land Cruiser, because the Land Cruiser got very expensive, whereas let's say a 2 or 3 year old GX basically had the same off-road capability as the Land Cruiser, but was much cheaper.
I would argue, we got an airport van backing up here. That's just how it goes, Dad. I would argue the Lexus GX was actually for someone that, you know, had a 4Runner but wanted a V8, wanted a more usable third row, wanted more towing capacity. Boom, Lexus GX. How does this happen? How did we get so lucky?
I don't know. It's just the second you roll a camera, a helicopter lands.
Now, the engine in the old one, right?
Yeah.
The 1UR FE, what a legend. 4.6 liter, naturally aspirated V8 engine, made it to 6-speed automatic transmission, 301 horsepower, 329 pound-feet of torque. This engine has taken these vehicles millions of miles across continents.
But the price, of course, was that it was thirsty.
Yeah, really, really thirsty. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at 15 mpg city, which is not great. Maybe you could squeeze out 21 highway. Maybe. So yeah, it was a very thirsty engine, but long-lasting, durable, basic, kind of a good V8 rumble too. It's a fantastic powertrain.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you want something that would go for not tens of thousands, but hundreds of thousands of miles, this was your go-to engine. Now, the new one, of course, shares a platform with the Tundra. So like the Tundra, there is no longer a V8, but a twin-turbo 6-cylinder, Tommy.
And what you mean by that, Dad, is both of these are riding on that, both of these. The GX and the Tundra, as well as several other Toyota Lexus products on the TNGAF platform, right? So under the hood, we're going to find a 3.4 liter. So we've gone from 4.6 to 3.4, lost 1.2 liters in displacement, but we've gained twin turbo power. So the power number is about 48 more. It's gone from
349.
Yeah, 301 to 349, but the torque is about
479 pound-foot of torque. I'm sorry I jumped on you, but I wanted to show off my insider knowledge.
Insider knowledge. You wanted to show off you could read the spec sheet, Dad. Yeah, I mean,
ouch!
150 pound-feet more torque between the new one and the old one. And that torque comes in at just 2,000 RPM. So for those of you out there worried about like, ooh, you gotta wait for the turbos to spool if I'm off-road, is it gonna work? Lexus says that low RPM torque delivery is gonna make this vehicle very good off-road.
Now, instead of a 6-speed, now you have an automatic 10-speed, Tommy. And what about fuel economy?
Well, you know, the fuel economy has gone up, Dad. It hasn't gone up that much. So believe it or not, the city number it's the same, 15. Highway numbers jumped up to 21, so 19 to 21. Yeah,
it's a big 3-row body-on-frame SUV. So if you're expecting, to get RAV4 Prime numbers, or maybe since we're at the Lexus brand, NX plug-in hybrid numbers. Is there a plug-in hybrid NX? There is. Okay, good. Then you're not going to get them, of course.
But Lexus does say a hybrid is on its way. So if you do want some more fuel economy, maybe wait for the hybrid.
All right, let's jump in the interior. How about you do that? I'll get the camera and you kind of show them the differences between the old versus new.
All right, so this interior is perhaps not the most attractive design, but it's one of my favorite interiors in a luxury SUV because it's got old school buttons, more buttons than like a 747. Climate control has buttons. The CD player, that's right.
Look, 4 knobs.
Yeah, CD player has buttons. What?
CD player?
Yeah.
Wait, there's a CD player?
I think this is one of the last vehicles sold in the US with an actual CD player has buttons. The heated seats has a little scroll wheel here, so it's all very easy to use. The bad news is it's not super flashy. So 10.3-inch screen, it does have CarPlay and that kind of thing, but it is maybe not the most fancy system. I do love it though, Dad, because it's easy. It's functional.
Okay, I got to jump in here. You really like this trackpad? Remember this thing?
The trackpad is terrible.
Yes.
Forget the trackpad, but you can also just touch it, and then you're good to go. Also, look at the old school physical dials.
I can't remember the last time I actually saw real dials anymore. And that hasn't been that long. I think in like less than 10 years we've gone to traditional dials now to all digital, as we'll show you in the new one, of course.
Right, but I kind of like that. It makes it feel a little bit more upscale. The downside is, right, we're missing some stuff compared to the new one. That Luxury Plus has got massaging seats. It's got that full sunroof. We've got this little dinky sunroof in here, right? It's got a much more just kind of usable feature set than what you're going to find in this 23 model. It's also got a lot better visibility. So you kind of sit high in this GX, but you got kind of this squinty windshield, really high belt line. So it's not great from an off-road standpoint if you look at visibility.
Yeah, I agree. And the cool thing about that one, and we'll talk about those kind of 2 binnacles in a second, which actually give you an idea of where the front wheels are. So, to me, this is old school luxury. And of course, since Lexus has kind of changed the definition of luxury around big screens, less buttons, that kind of feels more modern and current.
Now, some things worth noting: full-time 4-wheel drive with a center transfer case. 4 high and 4 low, you have true low range transfer case. We also have multi-terrain select on this vehicle and crawl control all located there. You have to be in low range to use MTS on the new one. You can be in high range. We've also got the adaptive suspension settings here, some height control stuff, and I love the CD player. I mean, it's almost like so the last.
I've got a Phil Collins CD. you wanna kind of test it out?
Do you know what the last vehicle sold in the U.S. with a cassette player was?
Wrangler, maybe?
No. Wrangler.
Why not Wrangler?
I don't even know if the Wrangler's ever had a radio. No, the Lexus SC was the last car sold in the U.S. with a cassette player. I'm wondering if this is one of the last with a true CD player. But Dad, let's go ahead and check out the new one.
Yeah.
See what they did.
People know this old one. Let's talk about the new one, which is probably what you guys want to see. And then in a second, I'm going to show you something very unique and different in the back here. But let's take a look at what Lexus has done to update. And Tommy, oftentimes manufacturers tend to do more of an evolutionary design change. This is revolutionary. Everything in here is very different.
Totally right. Yeah, and we've gone from a very segmented vertical design layout to a horizontal wide layout here. Now the screen, 14 inches up from 10.3. Everything is digital. So your climate controls, your fan here, your heated ventilated seats, it's all digital now. For better or worse, I'm not sure I love that, but it does look very cool.
You know what I love? I love this thing. Check this out. Look at this. Look how that works.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? In the old days, that would have been a cigarette lighter. Now, of course, those days are long gone. It's a little power port. You also have 2 USB-C ports right there. So much more modern. Off-roading, of course, you get a standard low range with a center locking diff. You also get a rear locker if you get the off-roady one. But we'll get to that.
Over trail, right? Yep. Unlike the old one, you can get with a proper rear locker. They've also gone to an eKDSS system, which is their electronic sway bar disconnectable system.
How about this? Look at this.
Yeah, you got the camera views.
You got the new 360 camera view, and Lexus says that the cameras will actually show you what's underneath the car, so that you can, know what you're doing. Now, I was talking about like those two binnacles right there. Those actually humps. Those actually line up with the wheels, so that if you line those up and you're off-roading, you know exactly where the wheels are going to be.
Check this out. I think this is pretty interesting too.
Let's see.
So 12.3-inch digital cluster here with some configurability as well, right? So you can you can change around what it looks like, what it shows. You can go from the map. What else do we got here? Map 2, Map 1, driving support, you got the TAC there, right? So you can really make that your own. Of course, a full suite of Lexus safety systems as well. Look at the mirrors, Dad. So Lexus in their product presentation mentioned the throwback vehicle, FJ Cruiser. And it's true, they do look like old FJ Cruiser mirrors. They're very kind of square and a little bit narrow. I'm kind of worried they're not going to be great for towing, but they say they're good for branches.
Yeah, and we'll get to the towing number because they just changed it, so we've got some breaking news for you guys. And that number truly is astounding. All right, so I like the interior better on this new one. I just think it's more modern, more purposeful. Which one do you like better?
You know, I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I like me some buttons. I do like the buttons. I mean,
All
the
right.
screen is great, but
Fair.
like just being able to have tactile buttons across the center for heated, cooled seats, all the climate control, I like it a lot. I mean, the interior quality in here is excellent. It's got heads-up display, right? A lot of massaging seat. I mean, oh my gosh, unreal. But I like me some buttons.
Yeah, and then over here, Tommy, I have got the spec sheet. So at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how much all that goodness costs, because it is a much, well, let's say elevated number from the past, because you get a lot more. So let's go in the second row.
Yep.
And let's see how I fit. Now keep in mind I'm 6'2", so I'm a little taller than most people. And so it will be a little bit tighter. Now Tommy, what does this compete with? Not the old one, the new one.
Well, it's a very competitive set, Dad, I
Yep.
have to say. You know, we're looking at Mercedes GLE, BMW 5 Series, 5 Series, X5. BMW also said X7 because of the third row capability, right?
Yep.
What are you doing? Are you cheating there?
No, I'm just moving this forward so I can get in the third row.
Yeah, but what shrimp is going to sit there now? We real world testing.
Jill.
But Jill Simonello,
Yes.
yeah. But the big competitor here.
And she's not a shrimp. She's just small in stature.
Yes. Check out her TikTok. She's got an amazing TikTok. The big competitor here is the Land Rover Defender. So the
Gives you a
Defender.
clue as how much it's going to cost.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pricey vehicle, but the Defender is the big, hot competitor with the off-road capability. How's the second row in the old one?
It's okay. You know, my favorite thing are these kind of interestingly engineered cup holders where you have two of them. I do have enough headroom. I'm curious to see how much I lose when you go full sunroof. But yeah, it's not bad. You know, it's got individual little vents here, grab handles, no privacy screen. That's kind of a bummer. But I do love this like blood red leather. So the question is, do I fit in the third row?
All right, well, hop back there.
Thanks, dude. Why am I doing this?
Now, the new one, by the way, can be had in either 2 or 3 row configurations. The Overtrail is only a 2-row vehicle.
All right.
The new one also can be had, interestingly enough, in both steel and panel sunroof.
All right, so first thing.
Cheating.
Oh, no.
You gotta put it back. Come on.
So first thing I'm going to say is no headroom.
Yeah.
My knees are at about my chest, and this seat is uncomfortable probably because we've got the
pop those up there.
yeah,
There you
in
go.
my back right now. But yeah, this is more for kids than for adults.
It's usable though.
Yeah, it's usable.
Okay.
You know, I mean, look, you always want that flexibility of a third row, especially if you've got a family and you got to take the kiddos to soccer or someplace. So it's nice to have this.
Well, look, you want to hop out there, Dad? Give it a go. What I will say, which is worth noting, is if you want a better third row in a Lexus product, why did you do it like that? Why are you doing that?
Well, because that's where the camera is. How's that?
Um,
I got out.
If you want a better third row in a Lexus product, the TX, right, is going to be a more usable third row. It's not body on frame, doesn't have a low range, but yeah, it's going to be a better
All right,
third row
let's
experience.
try the second row here.
Oh, yeah.
So now integrated cup holders. You have, once again, controls here for heated seats and your temperature control. Much lighter, a much bigger sunroof. Actually, I would say a little bit better headroom. And look at this, Tommy. I'm doing the king wave now. How's that?
Yeah, it's
Nice,
nice, really nice.
Yeah,
Your more conventional cup holders.
Got little lights here, you know, captain's chairs. Very comfortable, but the question is, what's the third row like?
If you want to maybe unrecline that second row seat, I can put it up for you. There we go. There you go. Yeah.
I got it.
There you go. You got it.
All right, thank you for unreclining that.
Let's see how that reclining mechanism works. Oh, very cool. Look at that seat bottom kind of ejects itself. I like that a lot.
Yeah, this is not
Cool design.
not for big boys like me, Tommy. This time I'll do that, so it's not sitting on my back. So let's see how I fit back here.
Oh yeah. Put this down. Watch your feet.
I got it. Kind of the same thing.
It's very similar.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
The biggest difference is, of course, now I've got integrated cup holders back here. You can show them. I've got a USB-C port, very little headroom, grab handle, individual vents, and of course, I can recline the back seat if I wanted to, especially folded flat, you know, for storing things like, well, camping gear or bicycles or whatever you want to put back here. I mean, I bet you with all these down, you would have a ton of room.
Yeah. Well, you do have a ton of room, which we'll show you now. Do you want to hop out, Dad?
Yes, I'll hop out.
See the process, how that works? If you give it a little nudge, I think it got a little stuck there. Hey, yep, let's give it a little, there you go.
All right, and then we'll show them how much room is behind the third row because it's not a lot.
Thank you for taking one for the team and hopping back there. It was very nice of you.
Thank you. I am not the most agile of individuals, Tommy. So what's the biggest change back here before you prove that?
They've gone from
Up.
a swing gate to a lift gate on the new one. We got like right around 11 cubic feet worth of space behind the third row in this older model. Also have, look, you know, you got some power folding options there as well. The thing about this is I think it looks cool. It looks like you're on safari when you go to the grocery store. But if you're parallel parked, it prevents some challenges. And the other thing too, Dad, is you're opening it up right. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Groceries can go in there. But if you have to put stuff in, you're parallel parked, you're opening it into traffic in the US market.
All right, let's show them the big change, and that is, and this is kind of good for off-roading. Lexus said that, you know, since the new one is more off-roady, if, for instance, it's raining like it's raining here, now you have a little bit of a place where you could hide out and stay dry. And I'd say about the same amount of room.
Yeah, about the same. It's right around 11 cubic feet as well.
Fold it?
Yeah, you can fold it. Yep, little push and hold there. That's going to start going down. Very nice.
Yeah.
Good work. Yep.
Let's see how much room is back here. I'm curious.
Works really well. Yeah, it's a lot of room. You also have your recline back here too. Got a little third row recline for passengers. Get nice and comfy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of room. And let's see what's under here. Oh, a little cubby.
Yeah, got a little storage cubby. Does this lift up any higher?
Nope, just
No,
like that.
just like that.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's okay.
And then you got your little tow hitch cover there as well. Let's see what underneath looks like. So from a design standpoint, that's still solder axle. This new one's got a 4-link rear suspension design. There we've got that spare tire located underneath. Still body on frame, of course. Only one in the segment to be body on frame.
A little bit of power back here.
400 watts. Yeah, that's all
If
right.
you're camping, yeah, that's not bad, huh?
It's okay. And then, of course, your power lift gate. Now, Dad, why don't we hop around the front? We'll tell them the big news because they just dropped a bombshell on us.
Hold on, I want to show them this too. And of course, like the old one, you can also do this.
Oh, yeah. You can pop it open.
You can pop that open. That's nice if you want to just throw some stuff in without having to open up the whole thing.
So the bombshell regarding to the towing capacity, which they just revised and just announced, I think last night, is it's gone up.
Yeah, it's gone up a lot, Tom. You get this. This is a big number. It's actually a full-size truck number, 9,063 pounds with an integrated brake controller. That is a lot of towing, a lot.
When properly equipped, like
properly
this
equipped.
luxury plus model is not going to do it. I believe like premium and over trail will do the 9,000 pounds.
All right, and I'll show you the kind of feature sticker so we can talk about that, because I'm sure you guys are curious as to how much this vehicle costs.
The big thing about that 9K, Dad, has actually gone up from 6,500 to a max of 9. I mean, that's a huge jump. It's more than the Defender, which is like 8. What you got there?
All right, so let's look at, these are all the different packages, but let's cut to the chase. And here is the pricing. So this one starts at $79,900.
Luxury plus, yep.
Yep, and then your heads-up display is $900. Your cold area package is $200. Second row captain's chair is $440. Not bad.
This is the number I want to see. 84,395. So here's the thing, right? The Lexus GX has gone up a few K from a base price standpoint. Starts at like 64 now, but it peaks at like 84 whereas the old one would top out low 70s. So base price has gone up a little bit. The top spec, granted you've gotten a lot more stuff, has gone up quite a bit.
Yeah, now if you guys are wondering when you could buy one of these, Lexus says they are coming to a dealer beginning of the second quarter of this year. They're built in Japan. They're actually on the boat heading over to California, and they start in California and kind of move their way east in terms of availability. So if you're in California, you should get these sooner than if you're in New York.
All right, folks, well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Which one do you like better? Old school V8 buttons, new, more off-roady rear locker, but twin turbo and screens. We'd love to hear your opinions.
I got to ask you, Tommy, which one do you like better?
Oh, I like the new one a lot more.
Yeah,
but
me
I do
too.
miss some buttons. I am old school that way.
Well, you know, come on with me. We'll give them a little quick peek. Come on. So we'll head over here. So we're here in Tucson where we've got our hands on all the new vehicles, and so the next video that we're going to do is we're going to do a complete walk around of this one. We'll put that up, I think, on TFL Off-Road, because this is, of course, the new off-roady one. And go to alltfl.com if you want to see that video. And of course, we'll have a full review with driving impressions coming very soon. As always, this is Roman.
Yep, and Tommy, we'll see you on another episode soon.
Ciao.